Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'een. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Inshallah. Ameen. So inshallah, let's start at 211, section 26 in Surah Al-Baqarah. So we know that these surahs in Surah Al-Baqarah was revealed, in Medina, and there, the Prophet of Islam is now living amongst, people, from the Jewish faith, Bani Israel, whereas in Mecca, it was mostly just the mushriks were there, the polytheists were there, and others, but he was not in this, conversation and in this reality of establishing a relationship with those who came before. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because they received the book, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ask the children of Israel how many clear signs we have sent to them. But if anyone after Allah's favor has come to him, substitute something else, Allah is strict in punishment. And this is letting them know that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is the messenger of Allah. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is introducing himself as the Prophet of Allah. And they're going to be told time and time again to look into their book, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala predicted that the Prophet would come. And this is why sometimes, they are rejecting what's before them. I mean, they have the truth with them that the Prophet was coming, but they don't want to accept because he didn't come from the Jewish line, rather from the Arab line. So this is why this conversation is going back and forth. But at the same time, because the Prophet, he don't know anything about the Jewish faith other than what now is being revealed to him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, so ask them about all of the signs that Allah made clear to them. Since Allah is identified them as being, blessed, being the children of Yaqub. And when you go back to the prayer of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Ibrahim he's going to be, an imam among the people, and he says, and what about my duriyati? What about those from me? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that those who would follow righteousness, that would happen. And we know that his grandfather, who is Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, his father, who was Isaac, and now himself, Jacob, and now from him many of the prophets did come. I mean, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, so look at the favor that they did from just from Bani Israel, because Jacob's name changed to Israel. So we're talking about the children of Israel. Ask him, how many favors did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them with? How many signs were clear to them that they knew that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had, was real, and it revealed to them? And so this is a question that we too now must ask ourselves, knowing what Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, received, and all of the things that Allah has made clear to us of him, of himself, of his oneness, so that we don't follow the ways of those who followed, Moses, those who followed Jesus, how they got off track after being blessed. Then we see how they got off track. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is wanting us to learn something, from their story, so that we don't follow in the way in which they follow, being favored and then going into disfavor because we become unmindful of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with. Then we said the life of this world is alluring to those who reject faith, and they scoff at those who believe. But the righteous will be above them on the day of resurrection, for Allah bestows his abundance without measure on whom he will. And again, because we as believers, we believe that there's going to be an accountability. So we don't have to feel slighted because of the disbelievers who it seems like sometimes that they got everything, that everything's come so easy for them, that they have the wealth and they have, children, or they got the land and they got the power. And so sometimes, they're arrogant oftentimes in that way, against and making mockery of those who believe and say, oh, you're going to get yours in the next life. Or we don't believe in the next life. And so for them, they have been deluded by this, diversion of what they experience in this life. Well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is promising those who believe that theirs is going to be on the day of judgment. And then we're going to really see who is in the best position. And this is what we believe in. This is what we hold, everything in our being to that truth and to that reality. And this has been a promise that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made from the earlier time of men being here until the end of time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making this promise. So it's not something just promised to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but this is something that was promised to all of the prophets and all of the righteous people who preceded, so that we know that we're believing in that in which those who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed to be guided have been, informed by Allah that there is going to be an accountability. There is going to be this blessed day of Qiyamah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And so this is, and again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us that which would give us hope and gives us something to work towards. And to rely on. And we look at 2:13. This one is really something too. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Kan nasu ummatun wahida," mankind was a single nation, and Allah sent messengers with glad tidings and warnings. And we as Muslims, we continue to follow that line that we are one human family. And we go back when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu attaqu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum min nafsin wahida wa khalaqa minha zawjaha wa ba'atha minhuma rijalan wa nisaa kathiran wa taqullaha alladhi tasaaluna bihi wa arham." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us He created us. Those who believe, He created us from a single entity, and from Him its mate, and from them countless men and women. So this is giving us the facts that we came from one one community of human beings. And our belief in all of the prophets being connected, so we see and still, and they continually are giving that message that we're one human family. All the prophets taught us that we're one human family. Though we're different in our complexions, in our languages, in our customs, and the cultural things that have happened through our sojourn of living on this planet, but we are one. And this is what we're called to, and we're reminded of that one connectedness, is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah said, but we differed, after knowledge came, this is when people fall into differences, and we consistently see that. Even when it came to Islam, after you get learned people,